I'm not doing this shit today.
After suffering a series of disastrous defeats.
Oh, Jesus Christ, neither is you, Lauren. This is like way more depressed sounding than the other episodes. What the hell is this about? Actually, this was technically the first episode in production for the series, and dear God, you can tell.
Commissioned to protect the strategic world of Bothawai.
Bothawai is actually a place that pops up in the Old Republic. This is pretty cool to see a Saturn-looking planet with asteroids instead of ice. Dear God, I know I've been warning you all about the animation, but it's so much worse seeing it now that the series is over. Shit, man, you really don't see shows get exponentially better over 7 seasons like the Clone Wars did. Animation aside, this show really earns its place as top-tier Star Wars content. Oh my God, that blink though.
Seems like that coward always knows where and when to attack us.
He just always knows when and where to attack us, Dad! God, I gotta stop giving this episode so much shit.
If we run, the Separatists will take control of this sector. I can't let them do that.
And that is your problem.
Kinda seems like all of your problem, isn't it?
We should regroup.
I'm gonna come back to this in a bit, but seeing her jump to Obi-Wan's side is worth noting for now.
Suicide is not the Jedi way, Master.
Why does this line hit so strangely? Do we hear them use the word suicide a lot?
These boots are made for walking.
Our spies were right, General.
Who are your spies? What spies?
Move our ships through the asteroid field to engage them.
Through the field, sir?
I can't believe I'm saying this, but you should have actually listened to this guy.
We will go through the rocks.
Get out the way. That didn't sound good.
All power to the forward shields.
What if they attack us from behind?
The asteroids will protect us.
A few moments later.
Slow approach, let's draw them in.
Yes, sir.
Don't worry, R2. Grievous is falling right into our trap.
General, we have a clear shot at their cruisers.
Good.
They rhyme.
We're not gonna last a Minoc minute out here.
What does this mean exactly? We see Minox in The Empire Strikes Back, but this just kind of feels like they were trying a little too hard to make a cool phrase.
Gold Squadron, take evasive action.
Sir, yes, sir.
No, R2, we're not retreating.
Imagine if we heard music like this in the movies. So I haven't addressed this yet, but I love this scar on Anakin. Yeah, in the movies, before all this came out, it was just kind of assumed like, yeah, Anakin's got a scar now. He's probably just seen some shit and it makes him look cooler. Sure. We actually get to see him get this scar from Ventress, believe it or not. I don't know why I felt the need to point that out, but there you go. God, what the hell is that lip movement?
Time you join the party.
Aren't their suits only good out in space for a short time? That's what that one droid said a few episodes back.
The pressure suits offer some protection.
How long do they have exactly? It really helps raise the stakes.
With pleasure, sir.
Also, the whole addressing Jedi, male or female, as sir in this show always strikes me as kind of, I don't know, off. Not a bad or a good way. I don't know. I've just had so many different types of friends join the military and they've all had varying things to say about it. Some of them say they really only hear sir around them, and others say they hear ma'am all the time. Star Wars is pretty accurate with their military references, so I'm going to leave this one to you guys in the comments. The writing over here on the screen actually says, take that, Grievous, if you translate it from Orabesh. God, I love little fucking hidden Easter eggs like that. That's got to be so much fun to do as a creative team. I swear, this is easily one of my favorite battle sequences in an otherwise really flat episode. You got to appreciate any space battle in, well, Star Wars, but out of all the different kinds and cool stuff we see, this stands out among my top favorites. The tanks being used in this way is such a fucking cool idea. These are the ATTE tanks, and I just love these things, especially compared to like an AT-AT from the original trilogy, although obviously each have their advantages. We see these a ton in this show, but we see them in the Bad Batch too, and we'll also get to see them in Rebels after Rex, Gregor, and Wolf take it over to West Coast Customs in California to get it pimped out by Exhibit. Another awesome little detail, but this is the same sound the AT-ATs make when they fire too. Also, it's kind of crazy how these tanks are able to take out a ship this size, essentially. I know they had their shields focused on the front, but still. God, these lighting shots. If you look hard enough, you can actually see a random ass droid leg and a couple other parts fly out of this explosion. That's pretty cool.
Where are we supposed to go?
I love this fucking, I don't know, you guys figure something out. This is me and my girlfriend every time we try and decide on something to eat.
What do you want?
I have to go.
Well, I guess I'm in charge now.
In charge of what? The ship? The entire army? All hail the new general. You figure it out. Oh look, another one of Grievous's unnecessary flips to get into vehicles. Patent pending.
Grievous!
This might actually be one of the best glimpses of Grievous Anakin gets in the entire show. I guess I can see why he thought he'd be a bit shorter.
You're shorter than I expected.
He's powering up his hyperdrive, R2. Hang on.
I'll try spinning. That's a good trick.
I got a bad feeling about this.
How many bad feelings are we gonna get? Jesus, don't make me count them. Okay, honestly, I don't think this show gets any worse than this scene, so let's get this over with.
You owe Rexter your skin, Sky Guy.
Rexter is actually really fucking cute.
Just doing my job, sir.
He looks like such a creep.
Grievous is AWOL, but his fleet of tinnies is nothing but spare parts.
Do people in the military refer to opposite militaries this way? Like, isn't AWOL just absence without leave? Does she know whether or not he has, like, leave in this situation?
Congratulations, Anakin.
Thank you, Master.
You look troubled.
I lost R2 in the field.
Well, R2 units are a dime a dozen. I'm sure you'll find a suitable replacement.
Now you fucked up! Now you fucked up! You have fucked up now!
Wait, are there actual dimes in this universe?
I could take a squad out there, track him down.
It's only a droid. You know attachment is not acceptable for a Jedi.
It's not just that, Master. I didn't wipe R2's memory.
What?
It's not something you might think about all the time, but it's kind of cool that of course you'd have to wipe the memory of your droid like that if you're in battle with that kind of intel. Still cool to see little breadcrumbs of Anakin's attachment issues with something as simple as a droid. But the way Obi-Wan says it's only a droid really reminds me of the way someone might tell you it's only a dog if you lost yours. Actually, it's kind of crazy the way this is set up, like looking for a lost dog around the neighborhood. But the way R2 becomes integral to Luke later on absolutely makes it feel like a family dog situation.
Master Obi-Wan, sometimes R2 having that extra information has come in handy.
Here's what I meant earlier, guys, when she sided with Obi-Wan. You can actually see her scale back and forth between Anakin and Obi-Wan, and ultimately she defends Anakin this time. Little signs of her character coming through this early on is fun as hell to notice after all this time. She might have sided with Obi-Wan earlier, but it's not about one side or the other. She takes all the information at hand and makes the best choice in the moment, regardless of all the standard procedures and protocol. She never gets caught up in that, yet she still manages to temper her anger, and she never gets too close to the dark. This character is the GOAT of character development for me, but overall, damn if Ahsoka isn't what a real Jedi should be.
Then find that droid, Anakin. Our necks might very well depend on it.
Right away, Master.
I love how this makes him so excited, like a little kid. Like when your parents offer you to drive around the block one more time to go look for good old Scout or Spike or whatever the hell you name your dog. If you look all the way in the bottom left here, it looks like this one clone was like, hey, bro, come down here and take this selfie with me.
Master, they just delivered your replacement astromech droid. This is R3S6.
Who exactly delivered this again? I mean, I guess Palpatine, ultimately. If so, this guy is loose as fuck with how his plan ultimately turns out in the end. I do love the colors of this astromech, though, but I also like the Pittsburgh Steelers, so it makes sense. Oh wait, my boy Dave is absolutely from Pittsburgh, no wonder.
I've heard that the new R3s are far faster in thinking skills and more powerful than the old R2 units.
So if that's the case, Obi-Wan's R4 should be like way smarter than R2, right? Yet R2 literally comes in clutch more than any character in Star Wars. Meanwhile, R4 over here...
R4, be careful, you have
Oh dear.
And best of all, Master, he's gold. A gold droid for gold leader of Gold Squadron.
You can't replace R2.
Don't worry, Goldie. You'll get to know him later.
God, now all I can see are dogs!
There's my ship! R2's gone. He must have escaped.
You know, Anakin, they make these things called microchips now, and all you do is take them to the vet and...
There is a ship out there.
Hold up. I fucking love this, like, space dump truck kind of thing.
Probably combing the battlefield for salvage.
Here it is! This is the same airlock room we saw in episode 4. I know I'm really, you know, overanalyzing over here. I'm sure it's way easier and more practical in animation to just take an existing asset you have and throw some new paint on it, different lights and whatnot. But an in-universe explanation could just be something as simple as, yeah, the company that makes ships for both sides just sells their stuff that way. And they're gonna sell it to the good guys or the bad guys.
What's that smell?
You'll get used to it.
Get used to what? Does Anakin come to these kinds of ships often? Because if the smell is what I think it is, we'll get into that in a second. One of those good old creepy eye droid things from Jabba's palace, and I guess the Mandalorian now too.
Goodness gracious me. Find you a pinky. Find you a pinky.
They rhyme.
Was that the smell you meant from earlier? It's kind of weird hearing a fart in Star Wars. Do we ever hear one again outside of this guy in this arc?
And our series. No, not for a long time.
This guy kind of reminds me of Hondo. Damn, I can't wait to see him. Also, why is it that like crooks or shady people always get this sort of accent in media? Like Hondo, Watto, you fucking name it.
Tell you what, I may have an R2 unit buried somewhere in the hold.
Oh shit, wait a second, that's Ron Perlman. Why did it take me all these years to realize that?
There are many, unique items down here.
Wow, seems like a pretty trusting guy.
These must be the unique items we were warned about.
Hey, an Instagram droid. I mean, an IG droid. We see these things a lot in Star Wars, the first one being Empire Strikes Back, and even now in The Mandalorian. These guys are serious fucking business. Jesus, this is one of those weird music moments I mentioned in our last episode, although I will definitely say they fit this show way better than they did in The Mandalorian.
Activate the Dark Troopers.
Master!
Damn, not your best line read, Ashley. I really did enjoy seeing Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka in The Mandalorian, but Ashley Eckstein is just on some other level with this character, man. I feel like this has got to be like, what, one of 3 bad line reads in this entire series, and that says a lot. She fucking kills it.
Gotcha, piston head.
She calls this IG droid a piston, and it actually does kind of look like a piston in the Clone Wars series, but I think they actually look a tad bit different in live action from either The Empire Strikes Back or The Mandalorian. I always thought as a kid they reminded me of some kind of hookah upside down. Don't ask why, but it turns out they're actually the combustion chamber from a Rolls-Royce engine. Another fun random fact, but we see it just chilling in A New Hope in the back somewhere in the cantina. You're welcome.
You're right about the hands-on experience, Gramps.
Good job, but you missed one.
Damn, I love this little moment right here. Such Big Brother energy, and we see it a lot in this show, in little subtleties like this. And they really just add to the love we feel for these characters.
I'm sure he did his best.
His best to get us killed? R2 would have never made that mistake. R3 can't even get the door open.
Okay, we're gonna go on a little rant here, as if you guys aren't used to that by now. But I always feel kind of bad for R3 here, for essentially no reason, but we love droids in this show, unless of course you're Satan. But the reason I'm ranting is, does R3 understand what he's actually doing? He makes some really creepy ass out of character beeps later. Fucking makes some creepy ass beeps. What does that even mean? But like, restraining bolts wouldn't do this kind of weird evil shit, right? I'm reaching here, but damn it, that L3 droid in the Solo movie has me fucking questioning every droid's motivations and actions at this point, and hopes and fucking dreams of droid rebellions.
Don't just blindly follow the program. Exercise some free will.
If you didn't have a lightsaber, you'd be a dead man.
I fucking doubt that, my guy.
Let's get out of here.
I told you there were no R2 droids down here.
A few moments later.
I've got the merchandise you're looking for.
Oh my god, it's the droid he was looking for!
Maybe it is worth more than we negotiated.
You bring that R2 unit to me as fast as you can get here, or else.
Ah, yes. Of course, General. Just kidding.
Why do I get like major high school bro kind of vibes from these two? Like, yeah, we graduated together. Grievous over here went on to be a general, and well, yeah, you saw my ship.
I'll sweep the outer corridor while the rest of your ships focus on the center.
Are you sure you want to go alone?
It still doesn't feel right seeing Rex without his dope-ass helmet modifications that we see later on. But god, I love the detail that goes into his helmet. A lot of them, I guess, but if you guys don't know, these ear-looking things on his helmet were actually on the very first public appearance of Boba Fett. Not the movie, but he was actually in a parade before Empire came out, walking with Darth Vader, and he's rocking those ear-looking things. He also shares those little orange tally mark looking things on both sides rather than just on the left side like Boba's.
I think Stubby is defective.
Give him another chance, Master.
All right.
Alright, I know I've mentioned the music a ton, but fuck me, man, this one is the absolute worst for me. There's something about just hearing an electric guitar like this in anything Star Wars that just, god, man, no thing. I like to think that this is the actual song that this guy needs to listen to fall asleep. Like, every single sleep. What the fuck? Oh my god. I love this little fucking shoulder wobble thing R2's got going on here.
Gonna fuck on me!
God, I love this little chuckle R2 does here. I just fucking can't say enough how much I love the way they make R2 sound so damn likable. Like this little rolling soda can. Why do we love you so much? It's the little things, man. The sound team responsible for R2 is seriously the best.
Removed your restraining bolt, have you?
So what's the point of restraining bolts exactly if he can just take it off?
Activate long-range scanners.
You mean like this?
No, not the tracking beacon.
What's he doing?
There's our Jedi tracking beacon.
Let's hope Grievous didn't hear that. Yeah, he heard it. Prep the hyperdrive engines. What are you doing? I said prep them, not drop them.
Like, why are these things so fucking cool? Why aren't there like giant ass versions of these?
I know. Missiles. I hate missiles.
But not as much as I fucking hate sand.
Hate missiles. Hate missiles. Hate the sand. And I hate missiles.
Hey, that was clever.
You think this guy like stores this info in his data and uses it later on? Like, what the hell are these guys really capable of?
If this ship blows up, you go with it.
You better get inside.
I'd love to, but R3's having a problem with the engines. I'm inside.
Powered up, Rex.
No wonder Anakin was so hesitant about her flying in Malevolence. She's fucking terrible.
Hit it, Rex. What did you think of your first adventure?
I'll tell you what I think. I think I'm lucky to be alive.
Nah, I ain't got time for this shit.
He's still out there. I know it.
I told you it's a fucking lost dog. Wow, this episode was rough on the animation department. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought I remember it being. And I actually think the next one is way better. We don't get any great story stuff, but there's plenty of character stuff that they had to build on. And they did nail that aspect with Anakin and Ahsoka. Patron shoutouts! If you guys like me, which I can only assume you do if you've made it this far, and you want to see this continue into the forever times, feel free to support me over on Patreon for just $1. Link as always down below. Huge shout out to Drakmir, who is not only my first patron, but is also part wolf, part human, and all extraterrestrial badass. Marcus Fleischer, who braved the Arctic tundra just for an authentic icy experience. And David, who's so easy on the eyes that he can reverse cook eggs just by staring at them hard enough. More huge shoutouts to all my other patrons. Colin Hemingway, Rhea S, Mr. Spadafrano, Drop, Schoolish Shows, Nephorax, Graphite, JP Jones, Celsus Volpes, Lewis Hunter, and Drunk on Hugs. Holy shit, you guys are the best, and I can't thank you all enough for wanting to be here with me. See you guys soon.